When everything feels hopeless, this story will heal your heart. Have you ever faced a moment when everything felt hopeless? When no matter how hard you tried, life seemed to push you down again and again. Many of us go through such times, moments where the future looks dark, and we start to believe that nothing will ever change. But often in our darkest hours, the light of wisdom shines the brightest. This story will remind you that hope is never truly lost. This is the story of Daniel, a young man living in a small town. Daniel was ordinary in every sense, kind-hearted, hardworking, and full of dreams. His biggest dream was to become a teacher, someone who could inspire children with knowledge and kindness. But life was not gentle with him. Daniel's father passed away when he was still a teenager. From that day, responsibility fell heavily on his shoulders. He had to care for his mother and his two younger sisters. While his friends enjoyed their youth, Daniel worked part-time jobs to pay rent and buy food, balancing long shifts with late-night studies. He smiled on the outside, but inside he carried a mountain of worries. No matter how hard Daniel worked, life always seemed unfair. His grades began to slip because he couldn't dedicate enough time to studies. He often came home exhausted, his hands sore from labor. Sometimes he would skip his own meals just to make sure his sisters had enough to eat. Then came the hardest blow. After months of preparing, Daniel applied for a teaching program, the very path toward his dream. But when the letter arrived, his heart sank. It was a rejection. He applied again. Another rejection. That evening, Daniel sat on his bed with his head in his hands. Tears welled up in his eyes. He whispered to himself, maybe I am not good enough. Maybe I will never achieve my dream. Maybe life has already decided my fate. The weight of poverty, failure, and responsibility crushed his spirit. For the first time in his life, Daniel felt completely hopeless. That night, his mother noticed the silent tears rolling down his cheeks. She walked over and placed her warm, gentle hand on his shoulder. Daniel, she said softly, when I was young, my father once told me something I never forgot. He said, when you feel you have reached the end of the rope, tie a knot and hold on. Daniel lifted his tired eyes to her, searching for comfort. His mother continued, life will test you again and again, but giving up will only make the pain permanent. If you keep moving, even with small steps, new doors will eventually open. Her words touched Daniel, but doubt still lingered. Seeing this, she decided to share a story her father had once told her. She began, once a farmer owned an old donkey. One day, the donkey fell into a deep, empty well. The farmer tried everything to rescue him, but the well was too deep. Finally, the farmer gave up. He thought the donkey was too old to save, so he decided to bury it by shoveling dirt into the well. At first, the donkey cried loudly, realizing what was happening, but soon he became quiet. The farmer was surprised. As he kept throwing dirt, he noticed something unusual. Each time dirt fell on the donkey's back, the donkey shook it off and stepped up. Shovel after shovel, the donkey kept climbing higher. What was meant to bury him became his ladder. After hours of struggle, the donkey finally stepped out of the well, safe and free. His mother looked at him and said, life will throw dirt on you, Daniel. Failure, poverty, rejections, pain, they are all dirt. But if you learn to shake it off and step up, nothing can keep you trapped. The well is not your grave, it is your ladder. Daniel sat quietly, the story echoing in his heart. He realized that he had been allowing life's problems to bury him. He had been focusing only on the pain, not on the lesson hidden inside it. That night, instead of crying himself to sleep, he picked up his notebook and wrote down one simple line. I will shake it off and step up. This sentence became his personal mantra, a reminder he carried in his heart each day. From that moment, Daniel changed his perspective. He didn't suddenly become free of problems, but he learned to face them differently. Every rejection was no longer the end. It was a push to try again. Every failure became a lesson. Every obstacle became a step. When money was short, he found creative ways to earn without abandoning his studies. When he felt tired, he reminded himself that persistence mattered more than speed. When his grades slipped, he focused on small, consistent study sessions instead of overwhelming himself. Months turned into years, and slowly, Daniel's persistence bore fruit. He was finally accepted into a teaching program. He studied with discipline and graduated with honors. Years later, Daniel stood in front of a classroom full of young children. He had finally become the teacher he always dreamed of being. But he was not just a teacher of subjects. He was a teacher of life. His students loved him for his kindness, his encouragement, and the way he believed in them even when they doubted themselves. Whenever one of his students felt hopeless, Daniel told them the story of the donkey and the well. With a smile, he would say, "Struggles are not meant to bury you. They are meant to lift you higher." So, my friend, when everything feels hopeless, remember Daniel's story. Life may throw dirt on you, but you have the power to shake it off and step up. Don't let challenges bury you. Use them as steps toward your dream. Tell me in the comments, what one burden will you shake off today? And if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.